I now give the floor to the representative of the Russian Federation. You have the floor, please.
President, we would like to thank Special Representative of the Secretary-General, Janine Hennis-Plassard, for information provided on the situation in Iraq. We welcome the participation of the representative of Iraq in this meeting too. We've been following very closely the changes happening in our friendly country where the situation remains unstable. The difficult socioeconomic situation is leading to popular protests among the people. The situation is compounded by a sharp decrease in state revenue because of a fall in global oil prices and also because of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. In this connection, we support the efforts of the government, led by Mustafa Kazemi, and efforts focused on stabilizing the situation in the country, including ensuring security and law and order. At the same time, we do understand that over the years, a whole host of problems have accrued, caused by objective reasons, and it's simply impossible to solve them all overnight. Iraq has had to recover following the events of 2003 and the subsequent difficult battle against terrorists. As we understand, one of the priorities for the Cabinet of Ministers at the current stage is preparing for the holding of early parliamentary elections, which are planned for October. We note the progress in preparations for the electoral process, and we trust that it will be held on time. We understand how challenging it will be for the Iraqi leadership to take into account the whole spectrum of political, social, and ethno-confessional opinions of the landscape of the country. At the same time, we are convinced that it is this inclusive dialogue that will allow domestic disagreements in Iraq to be overcome. We highly value the ongoing dialogue to rebuild mutual trust and to address existing divergences between Baghdad and Erbil. There's no doubt that further improvement of the relations between them will help Iraq strengthen its own security. But addressing accrued ethno-confessional problems allow for the economic potential to be effectively leveraged for the benefit of all Iraqi people. In turn, the international community should ensure the support to Baghdad in preparing comprehensive measures focused on rebuilding socio-economic and humanitarian sectors, particularly against the backdrop of the coronavirus pandemic. The country needs to rebuild regions that have suffered under ISIL too. Particular support should be focused on efforts of Baghdad and Kuwait to resolve remaining issues on the Iraq-Kuwait dossier, given the stable and positive trend in this process. This will serve the interests of strengthening peace, security and stability in the Middle East. President, we welcome the growing role of Baghdad in regional affairs, including across the Arab region. We believe that progress towards stability in the region should be built gradually, based on equal cooperation of all regional and other stakeholders, working towards resolving conflicts, as well as building trust and oversight, and at the end of the day, ultimately creating, in this sub-region, a comprehensive mechanism for collective security and cooperation. We'd invite all countries in the region, including Iraq, to cooperate to this end, including as part of the updated Russian concept for collective security in the Persian Gulf. President, we note with alarm that the terrorist threat remains high. Despite successes achieved by Iraqis on the counter-terrorism front, the security situation in the country remains fragile, including due to the increasing activity of terrorist underground groups who regularly set off explosions in various regions of the country, including using suicide bombers. Effectively countering this challenge is only possible if we have as broad a coordination as possible of counter-terrorism efforts. At the same time, we believe it is necessary that all of those involved in the fight against terrorism in Iraq respect the sovereignty of the Iraqi state and coordinate their activities with Baghdad. We believe also that foreign military presence in the country should be done only with the consent of Iraqi authorities or with a relevant decision of the UN Security Council. We call on all external players interested in stabilizing the situation within Iraq to refrain from unilateral destructive steps, have a negative impact on the situation both in the country and outside of it. Iraq should not become an arena for score settling and for regional confrontations. Thank you.
I thank the representative of the Russian Federation for her statement.